Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Tonight, let me start out by giving you some hope. You are making a huge difference, and don't let anyone tell you differently. Don't let anybody beat you down and telling you that you're not making a difference. One thing you need to know this weekend, when they said Glenn Beck, what they really meant was you, and they meant you a lot.
Unfortunately, Glenn Beck is in my brain all the time.
Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck.
Mr. Beck.
Glenn Beck.
The Glenn Beck Board of Crime, Inc. And don't realize that what happens is really nothing. And, I mean, I won't talk about him because then it'll show up tonight, and I don't think he's important enough.
Yeah. Right. They'll show you just how much we're not worth talking about coming up in just a second. Come on. Hello, America. Netroots held a big progressive conference in Las Vegas over the weekend, and you were a major topic. Again, they mentioned me, but that they really were talking about was you, because without you, I wouldn't merit a single thought from these people. President even had to come, and we'll show you later, he had to come and say, hey, we're making progress here. These people are freaked out. Let's start with first the former Democratic chairman Howard Dean, who was on with Chris Wallace yesterday, completely unpegged from the truth. Listen to this.
Let's just be blunt about this. I don't think Newt Gingrich is a racist, and you're certainly not a racist, but I think Fox News did something that was absolutely racist.
The video had never played on the Fox News channel before the White House fired it. It was on Andrew Breitbart, BigGovernment.com. We're not responsible for them. I agree with you. It was out of context, but it wasn't on Fox News, so maybe you shouldn't be using the racist phrase either.
And it was about to go, and it was about to go on Glenn Beck, which is what the administration was afraid of.
They were afraid of. The video is about to go on Glenn Beck. What are we in, Minority Report? Remember when they had the, oh, look, it's got my name on it. We're in a movie now. Does Howard Dean have a trio of albinos bathing in milk with electrodes attached to their heads? Are you seeing the future on your computer screen, or they give you a little ball with my name on it, Howie? Is that how it works? I'm surprised a squad of commandos didn't bust into the studio last Monday to stop me from playing the video I was about to play. Unfortunately for them, they're not really good at mind reading because I didn't play it. And when I finally did, approximately 26 hours after she was fired, the next night, I took Shirley Sherrod's side. Now, Howard, that's kind of a pesky little inconvenient fact there that maybe you shouldn't bypass. But it doesn't seem today like anyone is letting the facts get into the way of their Tom Cruise Minority Report chicken little racist charges. The problem is that you are in control. You have gotten under their skin to such a degree they cannot get you out of their heads. Here's James Rucker. He is from Color of Change, speaking at Netroots.
Unfortunately, Glenn Beck is in my brain all the time. It's bad for your health, psychological health.
That's really too bad, James. I mean, I haven't spent a single moment thinking about you. I really haven't. And my business has been more successful. We're having the best year that we've had ever. But Rucker knows that we're exposing the progressive agenda to the light of day. And that is what he has a problem with. Watch.
No one knew what Tides was until Glenn Beck started. I mean, people outside of our political world, Tides was, until they were on Glenn Beck's blackboard.
Now, wait a minute. We did talk about Tides. There I am. Last September, we talked about Tides. Well, why wouldn't you want us talking about Tides? Aren't they helping people? Aren't they working for social justice? Isn't that what all of your progressive friends are working towards? Why would you hide it?
One of the campaigns we ran last year, Color of Change, was basically going after Glenn Beck's advertisers, where we thankfully stripped him of normal brands, companies you'd recognize. But the reality is, and we knew this, we weren't trying to well, we were trying to marginalize Beck. We didn't expect we would get him off the air. We wanted to make him untouchable to a certain degree. You know, being on the other, if you've been on the other side of Beck, it can be kind of a stressful thing.
Gosh, James, I'm sorry. I'm sure that barely being mentioned on my show is much more stressful than 4 advisors to the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, who's running a smear and boycott campaign, several of them 4 against you, is pretty stressful. But I can't imagine how hard 1 or 2 mentions on my show has been for you. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Reality has come undone. And it's doing our country a disservice. The more time we spend on them, the more we become them. America deserves far better than this. We are better than this. This is the politics of the past, except, strangely, without even the past. I mean, without a real past. They have a made-up past, but not this past. As I said, the tape of Shirley Sherrod was not going to be on my show. They're really bad mind readers. I didn't have it scheduled. I wasn't going to play it. When I did, over 24 hours later, I supported her. Cries of racism. Now, without even an event. So what is this really all about, America? What is the real issue here? Because it's not racism. The issue is choice, as it always is. It's choice. We must choose now. Now is the time. Do we choose those who create fear, limit choices, lie, cheat, steal? Do we stand with Acorn, communist revolutionaries, Panthers, union thugs? Or do we stand with the troops? Cops, your church, small businessmen and women, moms and dads who are just doing their best to make sure their kid has a decent education, parents that fear America's best days are behind her because the powerful forces of greed and corruption are blocking the road to individual freedom, individual faith, responsibility, individual responsibility, inventiveness, blocking us from volunteering. This is the same choice. Man has always been at this place. They've asked us to make this choice over and over and over again. In the 18th century, we made the choice. We said no to a king that was in bed with special interests and didn't care about the people. In the 1850s, the most unlikely of heroes stood with people of faith to right the wrongs of the past. When both parties were corrupted, this man began a new one. It was called the Republican Party, a name that back then had meaning. After we had and fought that bloody battle, they tried to make us choose again during Reconstruction, and that time we almost failed. We got so lost, and then Wilson and FDR, each time they made us choose, they weakened the system. In the 60s, they stole our grandparents' children. And those who had the most and had done the least began to conspire on how to destroy our children's inheritance. And here we stand. Here we stand at that epic choice. Do we let man finally conquer the American spirit, or do we stand again and shake off the ever-forming chains, reclaim our rightful place by picking up our God-given responsibilities to ensure that man continues his crawl from the swamp to the stars? Stand. Stand, for you are man. And what is more, you are an American. Let them cry racism. Let them cry it all day long. I ask you to stand and cry freedom all men, all races, all creeds, freedom.